my name is Emma, and yes, before you say anything, I have not set up my green screen, so enjoy my fridge right there. So, if you're like me, you are counting down the days until Dark Souls 3 releases. I am so excited. But to tide me over, I picked up a game the other day called Salt and Sanctuary on the PS4. This game is sort of described as a Souls-like game, which this genre has sort of come out in the past year or so. So I wanted to give my first impressions on the game, as well as talk about this Souls-like genre in general and what it means for, you know, Dark Souls and all that series, as well as all the rest of the games that are spin-off from it. So, as you do see behind me, this is a 2D Souls game, pretty much. It is super similar to the game that it does play homage to, so it is still super hard. You've got to learn how enemies and bosses attack before you can conquer areas. You've got to manage your stamina, so you're swinging or jumping or rolling. Got to make sure you're doing that correctly or in the right way and not just hacking at everyone, otherwise you're going to get destroyed. You're exploring to find new items and such, and I think the main core that I find that is in Souls games is the emotion that you feel when you've been slogging along in an area and you defeat that boss, or you get to the next checkpoint that you needed to get to, and that feeling of just joy that you're there. This game has that all. Here, your souls, which is like sort of the main currency in the game, are replaced with salt. So I assume you can get really salty when you lose. The two other things that I can see that are different in this game versus the regular Soul series is, number one, again, as you can see, this is 2D, so it is focused actually on platforming as well, like to traverse to the environment. It also does introduce a new way to dodge, where you've got the jump. Yes, you can, you know, jump in the Souls games, but it's different when you have just a straight platforming jump in this game. So it does introduce, again, another way to avoid or get on top of enemies. Obviously, with it being 2D, there's a lot more upward and downward traversal versus, you know, going sideways, because they can hide new areas up top or down below that you can get to. It just expands the sort of world that you can play in. To be completely honest, I've never really been a fan of platformers unless they do something extremely different than just the usual jumping around. Cue Mario coming to come kill me now. But this game, I don't mind how it is set like that, just because the focus isn't on the 2D platforming aspect of it. It is on the, again, slog and combat of the Soul series, that it's this main focus. So the 2D stuff doesn't really bother me. The other main difference I can see is magic use. So I always play Spell Sword in the Soul series because that's just the way I run it. So I was like, yes, definitely, I'm gonna go mage. So this one, when you cast spells, your stamina bar actually decreases until you get to the next checkpoint or your shrine. So instead of having like your soul arrow or whatever it is being like 30 uses, depending on how big your stamina bar is, depends on how much you can use that spell. That again introduces a bit of a tricky element, because you can, you know, spam your spells, but then you're only going to get, you know, 1 or 2 hits in, and then you've used all your stamina bar, which is obviously terrible. So you've got to really think about how you're managing all that. With that all said, I am really enjoying it so far. As I said, I wanted something that could tide me over until I could jump into Dark Souls 3, and this is definitely doing that. When I was recording this, like the actual gameplay of it, I didn't want to turn it off. I was like, no, Emma, I don't want to record this YouTube video yet. I'm just going to play for a bit longer. So, yeah, it is addicting so far. I'm looking forward to running into some new bosses in this and figuring out how to defeat them. So now, leading in from this is like the whole Souls-like genre. You know, Demon Souls and Dark Souls have only been really popular for the last couple of years, so it's sort of spawned this whole new genre into gaming, which is awesome, and I'm really enjoying the fact that different developers can have their own take on how these Souls games work. But it's to the point where these games are like seriously marketing the fact that they are like Dark Souls, and I do wonder, like, you know, FromSoft have made this winning formula that they've created, and no, you can't trademark like stamina or all that, but like, how much of that do you think is like their IP? Like Salt and Sanctuary actually has a part where you go open a message and it says, this is just like Dark Souls. It is blatantly obvious that it's the same. So I do wonder how FromSoft is reacting to this type of thing. Obviously it's good for us as like the consumers of the product, because you give me more games that are like Souls games, I will play them. And there is a ton of Souls fans that really enjoy this genre, so seeing different takes on it is awesome. But I also wonder, like, so far the Souls series has almost nearly become an annual franchise now, when they've added Bloodborne into the mix. You know, so is these types of games gonna make us get like sick of the gameplay type more easily? I don't know. I hope not. What do you guys think? Do you think you can have too much of a good thing? Have you been playing Salt and Sanctuary? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Sorry again, I haven't been around. I feel like I apologize in every single video that I record. If you haven't already, please go follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Also, I haven't mentioned this on this channel before, but I'm actually a TV host in Australia on Disney XD for a gaming TV show called Game Fest. So I will link the YouTube channel down below of that. So I have a couple of reviews. I mean, lots of videos there. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye.